The music stopped. The woman stood and faced us, stepping unsteadily forward, then pausing as if to keep balance. Her tall, beautiful, full-bodied figure seemed between 20 and 30 years. Her facial expression looked far, far less. She gazed with the wide-opened eyes and mouth which suggest alarm in adult, but in her suggested pure, alert delight with an expectation of more. She wore a black velvet gown with narrow lace collar and cuffs. She spoke carefully, with a North of England accent, and each syllable was as sweet and distinct as if piped on a flute. Hello, Godwin. Hello, new man. Then she flung both arms out straight towards me and kept them there. Give only one hand to new men, Belle, said Baxter kindly. She dropped her left hand to her side without otherwise moving or altering her bright, expectant smile. Nobody had looked at me like that before. I grew confused, as the offered hand was too high for me to shake in the conventional way. I surprised myself by stepping forward, rising on tiptoe, taking Belle's fingers in mine and kissing them. She gasped, and a moment later slowly withdrew her hand and looked at it, rubbing the fingers gently with her thumb, as if testing something my lips had left there. She also cast several astonished but happy little glances at my fascinated face, while Baxter beamed proudly on both of us, like a clergyman introducing two children at a Sunday school picnic. He said, "This is Mr. McCandless, Belle." "Hello, Mr. Candle," she said. "New wee man with carrot tea red hair, interested face, blue necktie, crumpled coat, waistcoat, trousers made of brown, corduroy, my dear," said Baxter, smiling as joyfully on her as she on me. "Corduroy, a ribbed fabric woven from cotton, Mr. McCandle. McCandless, dear Belle." "But dear Belle has no candle, so dear Belle is candleless too, Godwin. Please be Belle's new candle, you new wee candle maker." "You reason beautifully, Belle," said Baxter, "but have still to learn that most names are not reasonable. Oh, Miss Dinwiddle, take Belle and your grandson down to the kitchen and give them lemonade and a donut sprinkled with sugar. McCandless and I will be in the study." As we climbed the stairs, Baxter said eagerly, "So what do you think of our Bella?" "A bad case of brain damage, Baxter." Only idiots and infants talk like that, are capable of such radiant happiness, such frank glee and friendship on meeting someone new. It is dreadful to see these things in a lovely young woman. She only looked thoughtful once, when your housekeeper led her away from me, from us, I meant to say. You noticed that, but it is a sign of maturity. You are wrong about the brain damage. Her mental powers are growing at enormous speed. 6 months ago, she had the brain of a baby. What reduced her to that state? Nothing reduced her to it. She has risen from it. It was a perfectly healthy little brain. His voice must have had hypnotic qualities, for I suddenly knew what he meant and believed him. I stood still and clutched the banister, feeling very sick. I heard my voice stammer a question about where he got the other bits. That is what I want to tell you, McCandless, he cried, putting an arm around my shoulder and lifting me easily up the stairs with him. You are the only one in the world I can talk to about this. As my feet left the carpet, I thought I was in the grip of a monster and started kicking. I also tried to yell, but he put a hand over my mouth, carried me to a bathroom, held my head under a cold shower, carried me to a study, placed me on a sofa, and gave me a towel. I grew calmer while using it, but nearly panicked again when he handed me a tumbler of gray slime. He said it was concocted from fruit and vegetables, that it strengthened the nerves, muscles, and blood without overstimulating them, that he drank nothing else. I refused it, so he hunted in cupboards under a lot of glass-fronted bookcases until he found a decanter of port nobody had tasted since his father died. As I sipped the dark ruby syrup, I suddenly felt that Baxter, his household, Miss Bell, yes, and me, and Glasgow, and rural Galloway, and all Scotland were equally unlikely and absurd. I started laughing, mistaking my hysteria for a return to common sense. He gave a sigh of relief that sounded like a steam whistle in the room next door. I winced. He produced cotton wool from a drawer. I plugged my ears with it. He told me the following story. And there's a little picture. So that's the end of chapter 4. So we'll leave off there for now. Thank you very much for listening.